saw our guest was on my birthday. That was the last time I saw you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I went home and I ate those donuts all by myself.
Did you enjoy?
Oh my goodness.
You were spoiled?
My goodness.
Yes.
Yes. And I
represented.
And I made sure that people knew. Put my donuts are in my fridge now, man. Yeah. Yeah.
And your attitude is on point.
My attitude was on point. I was like, you know what? I am not going to share this deliciousness. I share everything else.
Yeah.
My donuts are mine. And mine alone. So I ate them Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That the last bit was on the Saturday. Like we had to warm them up.
Oh my God. Thank you for that stamp of approval.
Yes, no, you go back into that bakery. Becky says yes. Yes.
And how are you now?
No, I'm all right. You know, I managed to rest. And then a day before coming back to work, doesn't the girl just get sick?
Oh, God.
And I'm thinking, no way. Like, what is going on? I did rest. I wasn't like out and about or doing anything out of the unusual. So Monday, I had like a slight tickle on the throat. By evening, I was, it was like, go, bulldog, you know.
Who's that?
Tuesday.
Right.
No, Tuesday I was here because I like things. I should have stayed myself in bed and I shouldn't have, you know, gotten out of bed at all on Tuesday. But because I like things and I love the pulses, I was here really trying. And then there was Julia, who's very she misbehaves a lot. She'll be sending me these emojis and messages that make me laugh and everything. And then the next thing I'm laughing. Next thing I'm coughing. And then it's like,
Full blown.
Full blown.
No, we had fun on Thursday.
I know. And I'm loving their responses. People are catching on really well. So we're about to get into today's topic.
BeckyK on Capital 100.4 FM. Listen. BeckyK is on Capital 100.4 FM.
So Pedzi's here looking at me like, oh my God.
I am gonna leave this place dead. Yeah, no, today's topic is quite interesting.
Can you relax?
I did it.
I'm saying you won't die, my guy. You won't die. You shall live. Okay, so today we're talking about attitude is everything.
Right.
As adults, where do we get it wrong with our attitude? Because I know as we grow up, teenage years, just before you turn 20, right? So talking from 16, that gate here, 16 to 20, that 4-year gate,
right.
Before you are 20, you get into a space where you're like, you can tell me what to do.
Oh my God.
And even the dressing, you're just like, what? Do you have parents? Right? And then you are growing into this man or into this woman, but your attitude sort of like takes a
shift.
Yeah.
Right.
It takes a shift, and you feel like I am doing the right thing. I know what I'm doing is right, but then people around you are like, no, my guy. That's not what you should be doing.
Right.
What happens with that attitude?
I think the most important thing to initially start at is what exactly is attitude.
Okay.
So for instance, what you specified is behavior, which is under the umbrella of attitude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the reason why attitude is very difficult to fix is because we don't have an understanding of what exactly it is. So I think maybe we can start by just a very basic definition.
Okay.
Or like deep dive into what that really is. And attitude is often the influences that really trigger your decision making, your behavior, and your interactions with people. And it's a combination of beliefs, it's a combination of emotions, and it's a combination of behavioral tendencies. Those three things. So they manifest themselves in different ways based on the situation, based on the setting, based on the person. So the way you are in church is completely different from the way you would be at home, because your attitude expresses itself
based on the environment that you're.
Exactly.
Oh my god. So maybe any attitude and you're like, no.
No, I'm just responding to you. You've taught me to be like this.
Pedzi.
Ma?
You've taught me
Yeah.
to be like this. So this is my attitude towards you.
Right.
But so can we control that?
You can eventually. You can,
Sure.
and we eventually get there, right? But the most important thing is not the can we then control it. Is then how do we avoid it?
Okay, so more of avoiding than controlling.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll give you a very common example that people experience in Harare. You're dressed well, babe.
I like that.
In Harare.
Bring it back home.
So you're dressed well, and it's a Saturday. It's a bit warm, so you are probably dressed. And in this case, you want to go to a specific shop. You saw a nice dress. It's at Naka Parade, for instance. You're dressed wearing your very body-hugging dress. It's summer. You're summer wear, boom.
Right.
And you're walking there. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you're like, "Ndugenda pa Naka Parade close to Zinex"?
Chai.
That don't before you even answer. That whatever chai means to anybody listening, what then is the behavioral tendency that you instill in your mind to prepare yourself for that? You're expecting anything.
I'm expecting anything, and I'm ready for it. Yeah.
But
come at me correct.
You may not even have experienced it. But what comes from someone else.
Yes.
Which then creates the foundational element of what you then call a belief.
Yeah.
Attitude. The belief as well as the behavioral tendency. So now after that belief you kick in, you a foundation in your mind. Uchashika pa area your mind now preparing you emotionally. So that whole is the emotion that your mind has triggered. You know, you need to prepare for this. So that if anyone just comes up and says, "Hey, sister, you are ready," not only vapo, but maybe your zip is off.
I know. Oh my gosh.
You get it?
Yeah.
So that's how attitude is formed. It's got so many complex facets, and people only know and understand the behavior part, which is now an expression of the beliefs, which are then translated through emotion, and the last stage is behavior.
Let's take it into a workplace setting, right? You're starting a new job and you get into this place. Maybe you know one or two people at that workplace, and Pedzi, Dara, you know, you're talking, and then they start, you need to be careful of Mingi, they're like this, Is that a good attitude or behavior to have in welcoming someone new to a certain workplace? Or would you rather just let them find out for themselves who these people are? Because maybe that person is like that to you because of how you are to them. But then now you are feeding Pedzi. This mentality would my matipa right. My matipa not taurisa atomboiti kana akuzoti esila anoswera kukumbira mari baba shamai. You know? Why not let people experience these people by themselves and not tell or like try and foretell someone's behavior to someone else?
Giving advice and guidance, or in this case it's mentorship, is good. The only problem is that each person has experienced certain behaviors from the person they want to describe.
Right.
And like we said, it's now based on what you've done to cause that behavior, or who you are has also triggered that behavior, or who you're not. Right? So like, for example, the Ranotoramari, but then, you know, the Avatsosere, it is an issue Yake and Yako as well. It's a mutual thing, agreement.
Yeah, because maybe I'm saying because with me, they might be borrow money from me and my money will come back.
Right.
So I won't have that same experience with that person. But you had a bad experience with them. Now you feel like it's your job to let everybody
to
know.
Announce it.
Yes.
Right. Which then also just indicates how people need to be very careful about the information they perceive or they receive, because that's another thing that creates the belief system that would then translate to emotion and then eventually to action. That information you take in, you have to sieve it. You can take everything in, but you have to pick what stays, and you cast out what doesn't need to be
pick what stays and cast out what doesn't. Another scenario, Pedzi, this is you. We're talking about the impact that attitude has in one's life, especially now that you've chosen to go in a certain direction. As an adult, there's choices that you're going to make. Some choose, I don't ever want to work a day in my life. Some will say, I will work my way to wherever that I need to be. This is you. You are in the service industry. You're a sales consultant. You are front of desk. You are meeting up with people. And maybe at your workplace, they don't even pay you enough for half of the things that you're going through in that workplace, or the paperwork that you do and all. In comes a client, and your attitude changes immediately because you're like, ugh, now I have to attend to this person.
Right.
But right? And this is something that we face on a daily basis. You walk into certain places, certain stores, and you just want to walk out because of the person's attitude in the store. So you mentioned earlier that environment has a big role to play with that. Can I single myself out of that environment? Regardless of the company going through whatever it's going through, inini sabeki, I am going to think and function in this way and take care of my clients and greet every customer that walks by, and I'm going to do my shift and put in the extra time. Can I do that, or shall I just stop?
Definitely. You are actually more responsible of yourself, and you are expected to do that if it feeds into the bigger picture of who Becky is. So for instance, if you walk outside in the streets, people will recognize you, right? They'll be like, oh, this is Becky. Oh my God, Becky. Yeah. And even if you don't want to smile, you're forced to smile. You're forced to be happy. Right? And you are forced to really kind of give the sunshine of Becky. Steve Covey really spoke well on that in his book, Eight Habits of Highly Effective People. And he said there are two traits. There's the personality and the character trait.
Right.
The character trait is one of the most important, because this is who you are.
In general, with no one's influence.
Exactly. Well, it is the foundational elements of who you are as a person. So even behind closed doors, you are still that person.
Lovely.
Right. But then he stated that there is the personality ethic. That is short bursts like a matchstick. So I'll give you it as an illustration. Character ethic is the candle. Personality ethic is
the matchstick.
A matchstick, what happens with it. You strike it against a box, it bursts into this beautiful aura of colors, which lasts possibly 2 seconds. It burns down rapidly, and it is extinguished.
Wow, dude, I think you just described BeckyK right there. All right, so there's Rebecca, the character,
right,
and then there's the personality, BeckyK. No, when BeckyK is on the stage, woo, outburst, the vibe and everything. Am I like that at home? Probably not. Right? I might still be like the outbursts of joy and moments of dancing and but I am not the stage Becky when I'm at home.
Right.
So the personality is something that will just once in a while come out.
It sticks out when
necessary, when it's needed to bring out BeckyK. All right, and then the character is, come on, this is what is standing. This is who I am.
Right.
Whether someone is watching or someone is not watching, this is who I am. So if I have a bad attitude all by myself, there is no way I'm going to have a good attitude out there.
Yes. And this is the scary thing, and it happens usually in relationships where people have got the capacity to people can mask who they are through personality. And then when you're like, oh my God, he's such an amazing person, I should get married to him, and then you hook up. When you're now close and the endurance of the personality ethic is oscillating, when it's at the bottom in the valley, you discover, no, this guy is actually very mean. You see, so some people have it flipped. So the attitude is actually very bad, but they've got a beautiful personality. It's out there. People won't even believe you when you say this is actually the person.
I know people like that.
Yeah.
I know people like that. I know someone who's a wife beater. But when you look at him, you're like, never. Never, you are lying. And you're like, he did this to me. And you're like, mm-mm.
You did it to yourself.
You did to your, well, I wrote it about door or something. But because they've got that personality, you're like, never. That can't. So how important is having an attitude check, right? Because I'm sure by now, with the way you broke it down, people are already checking themselves. But okay, am I on the good side, or am I on the fence, or am I like down there? Can I be fixed? Can I be helped if my attitude is not in the right direction of it being positive? Because I think a positive attitude is what is needed here, right. To like get through whatever life throws at us. Can an attitude check be done, and if so, how often?
An attitude check should be done every single day.
Every day.
Every minute.
Every day.
Every moment.
Like check yourself.
You're checking yourself.
You better check yourself. Oh gosh.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
I think to really understand what that means, to check yourself and to keep yourself accountable, is to understand the percentages of what happens in reality against what is then happening in your mind.
Okay.
So life in itself is 80% psychological, 20% reality. Yeah. So whatever is happening now in your life was already created mentally. It's already done. If it was a good mental process, it's going to be a beautiful expression in life. If it is a negative mental process, it is going to be a very frustrating expression in life.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me if I'm having a bad day, I did it to myself?
Mentally, it already started in your head.
Oh.
Yeah. It started in your head either by a trigger, because everything around you can influence how you then create the life you want today, this minute, this hour, and the like. So, check something out. When you have a bad day, something happened to you in the morning, or something was carried from yesterday and it wasn't handled, it was not checked.
Okay. So it's lingering somewhere.
It's there, it's still processing. In fact, this is how it can also happen. You have an argument with me today, I say something very, very personal and very painful. You go home and then you speak to Hadi and say, this is it. And then he says something that does not necessarily align with what you are. But how
right.
Boom. The process has started.
Secondary. Chimbwanda Pedzi. And I'm coming to you as a place of refuge, and then you're like, bad.
So in the attacker, your personality. But then when you go to someone who has access to your character, attacker character, which is your foundation, so it creates a stronghold.
Okay.
And then it starts manifesting, and it starts festering in your mind. You wake up bitter like butter. And then when you get everything now starts crumbling, you start everything that, and this is the thing, it may not actually be anything bad that's happening, but because your lens, your visual lens is now seeing the negative side, everything eventually looks like it's bad. So you may be 5 minutes late, and then you step in, and then your boss will be like, Becky, but hey, it's now an attack. But maybe he said it jokingly, but you know why he received it as an attack?
Because of what's going on already
in your mind. So now you're just simply manifesting what has been created in your mind, willingly or unwillingly.
0719-100-404. We're talking attitude is everything with Pedzi, and he just broke it down to us that attitude has a couple of things underneath it, which is belief, behavior, character, and personality, and the way you then carry it out is what then is deemed as your attitude. So if you're having a bad day today, you probably did that to yourself. Can you imagine? I know it's painful. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. Apparently, you did this.
Oh my God! And
you over-processed something that was not meant to be over-processed.
And disclaimer on that statement, because you did it to yourself. The reason why you should also look at it like, I did this to me,
yeah,
is because you have to claim back the responsibility.
Own it.
Of changing it.
Yeah.
Because the person who did it to you
has moved on.
Yes.
I told you,
but now when you say no, how did I contribute to allowing this person to enter my mind?
But Pedzi, it's not always easy because people are mean out there.
It's difficult.
There's some adults that you just look at them and you're like, if I just, right?
Yeah.
And they say things that are supposedly supposed to build you, but the manner in which it is said, there's no way for you to see it other than an attack. Even if my attitude is positive, you come and you say something and it throws me off, I'll find it as an attack. So now in my mind, Pedzi doesn't like me. I don't know why he would say that. And then I try to shake it off, but then I see someone whom I talk to, can you imagine Pedzi? So now it's a build-up or whatever it is that they say. Or maybe they'll say, no, don't take it too hard. And then now I'm thinking, no, why are you justifying what he's doing? Yes, why are you defending him? Can't you see what he did to me? Or didn't you hear what I said about what he said to me and all? So in as much as we want to have the positive attitude, it's not always... So it's not always easy. So my question then being, in knowing that changing your attitude is not always easy, but it's possible, it's doable. How long is safe to ponder on something before your attitude changes?
To allow yourself to
yes, allow me to wallow.
To wallow in your...
Yes.
Okay.
Allow me to wallow in my misery. Why I'm asking is because I know there's people who do it. I don't do it, and I try by all means. My goodness, I try by all means to shake off any bad energy.
How do you do it?
I think I speak good about myself,
Bingo.
And then I look at the circumstance. I look at the issue, the environment, everything. Okay, did what they say mean anything to me? Yes.
Bingo.
Okay. Why did it mean something to you? Is it true or is it a lie? It's true. Okay. Are you doing something about it? Yes, I am. So does it still matter that they've pointed it out? No. Why? Because I'm doing something about it. Okay, cool. So let's just shake it off. Let's go. So I give myself like a series of questions as to why I want to mope and wallow longer than 5 minutes. I don't stress about anything for more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, and it's something that I've practiced over time. I can have an argument with my sisters, with my husband, siblings. 5 minutes. I want endabo.
Yeah.
Endabo. Then I'm now thinking of a way out. Of that situation. But we don't need to be dwelling on this thing.
And that's one of the ways to actually overcome that attitude block, if you may say. I in my reading, I discovered it's called an attitude hacking.
Oh, okay.
Process.
Hack the attitude.
Hacking your attitude. And there's so many steps to it, and like one that you have actually one of them that you've stated is like positive affirmations. Just speaking to yourself positively, because the world is filled with negative information,
a lot,
and negative opinions of you. But speaking to yourself, do you know that process of looking into the mirror every day and telling yourself who Rebecca or BeckyK is?
Tell them, man.
Powerful.
Tell them. I do this in my coaching sessions, and I've seen some of my students look at me like, sure. Does it even work? Like what are you saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying? But yeah, go on.
So that alone as an activity is very powerful. Gratitude is another very powerful tool of attitude hacking. When you begin to see color in life, color increases in life. So every small thing that you see and you appreciate, say, wow, thank you, this happened to me. Whether it's an act, whether you're saying it to yourself, to someone else, whether it's God, the more you see the goodness in something, the more goodness comes to you, because your lens is now seeing that. I gave an example the last time we were speaking about goal setting, And I'm saying, if you want to buy a car, and all you're imagining is a yellow Volvo, you will start seeing yellow Volvos every single way. If you Google it, Instagram will start throwing Volvo this. Do you know Volvo is comfortable? Do you know we can carry 10 people? You start seeing all this. And that is the trigger that you need to also switch on when it comes to, when you start giving more gratitude back to the universe, if you may. Good things start happening. Self-awareness is another thing. There are places where you know that if you go, you cannot handle Ikoko.
Okay.
So you just avoid it.
Yeah.
You know yourself. You are
Right.
aware of yourself. You've taken stock of yourself and you're like, well, now I don't like them. There are some friends that you like, but there's some friends that you know, but two at the same time, you can't handle it. But you're okay to handle, to be with them, but it must separate. That's self-awareness.
Oh, very well said, danger.
Can
we deal with them one?
Yeah. There are relatives that you know that are negative, and you're like, no. It's I need to have a full box of matches to trigger my personality ethic when I'm with them. Yeah.
Like, okay, I think I'm running out.
Yeah.
I think I'm running out. Okay, so now we've like almost like broken it down on the whole attitude, behavior, character thing, how to do attitude hacks, and like hack that attitude back into shape, back into place. If you were to speak to someone who is like having the worst day like today, and they just need that attitude adjusted, just a tweak, maybe to assist them like in the correct direction, because the difference between good service and great service, or a good day and a great day, is the attitude that one is going to have.
Right.
So Pedzi, how was your day? It was great, because your attitude was great.
Right.
Hey Pedzi, how was your day? It was good. It was right, because of your attitude.
Right.
So we want to move someone's day from being good to being great.
All right. And you're saying this person has come to me?
Yes, this person has come to you and they're like, Becky would say, my one.
Right.
That way, any attitude, I'm so downcast. I'm like, not even a crane can lift my head.
You're right. So when we started, I love this particular trail. When we started, we said attitude is a combination of, well, it's a journey of, it's a journey moving from your belief system to emotions expressed through behavioral tendencies. So when you meet someone, you are experiencing their behavioral tendency. So even that whole that's the behavior. So you meet everyone at a behavioral stage.
Okay.
But you do not immediately go to the belief stage. Hence, why, for example, if you want to win someone to Christ, that's belief.
Right.
But you've met this person at the behavior stage. Someone is doing something that you don't necessarily think is right, but you don't start at belief, you start at behavior. So you acknowledge their behavior. And then you shift down and see what is the emotion that's causing this. So you get personal. So what really happened? Your day's bad. What really happened? What is it? Talk to me. The core, still within the personality, they're shifting slowly to the character. But it's the emotion which is sitting in between beliefs and behavior. So you're supposed to really, at that stage, you're not supposed to be logical. You're supposed to be understanding.
Don't be logical.
No.
Don't bring logic into it. Otherwise, you will lose the person.
They'll go back to behavior, and then they'll create a new behavior which locks you out. And then you start looking like you're gaslighting. So you have to acknowledge them in that behavior. You do not criticize behavior or emotion. You don't criticize an emotion. You criticize a belief. You are to acknowledge a behavior. You criticize only a belief. And that's where you restore a belief system. It will change everything else. After the emotion has been said, and you notice they're calm, they're now in their mind. Now you attack the belief. But okay, like, what would you have wanted the day to look like? And what do you think could have happened? What do you think should be an ideal day? They will tell you. They start really showing you the imagination of their day. Why can't this person be like this, and then you slowly now try to make them understand that no, but you've got more control over this. So how can we tackle the control element of what you're experiencing? Once you do that, it's my strong word, you've broken them down. And then the person, you won't even need to be there.
Wow.
Emotions will change naturally.
Yeah.
Because you're feeding the
Yeah.
belief system, and then it'll be expressed in behavior.
So the whole aspect of tit for tat. Okay.
I got the AP.
Ini andinzwaro. Yes, andinzwaro. Yes, you do this to me. Watch. Watch. Yeah, when they go low, I'll go lower. Yeah, you know, and all of that. This there was one post I saw, and this year I don't do what I get even, and I'm thinking, wow, people are already on that tip. Like the attitude you give me, I'm gonna give it back, and I'm thinking, are we not better than that? Are we not supposed to be okay? Are we not meant to be better than that? Like if someone goes low, why are you going lower with them? Like why move away?
Let's go.
Yeah, you act bad. Why should I, give that back to you?
There's a statement I love. And it says it's not so much the conditions of our life that control our destiny, but more about the decisions of our life that changes our destiny. So your conditions do not determine.
But the choices?
The choices you make after you've understood, no, my conditions are affecting me. So that's why at times people are not very keen to hear, I mean, look, you'll be 40-something, you'll be 30-something, and you're still saying, by now, you see, when people justify those things, but I'm doing this because no, bruh. Your conditions back then should not shape your destiny. It's now your decision. So Jean-Wide is a decision. You're right away.
I've always said, like, there's a certain stage in your life where you need to stop blaming your parents for the place that you are in your life, or the things that you have or don't have in your life. You just need to stop.
Yeah.
It's like wakura, man.
Yeah.
Are you still going to go back and be like, hey, baba, what? Was so like, okay, exactly. he did not do it. Now you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why you see a family with siblings, they come out so different. But with that same person who's a mess. Who you're saying is a mess who raised you up.
Yeah.
It now becomes your decision. And there's so many tools that can help. I'm not discrediting trauma. I'm not discrediting abuse. I'm not discrediting all that. But I'm saying once you have identified that Jacaitika Ijojo is affecting me now, you have to also take the responsibility to say, I'm tired of it affecting me. My attitude now has to change. My attitude is I need to find the solution to change the belief system, because it will keep holding you down.
It will. And even that aspect of trauma, the attitude that you have towards something. I listened to something. At first, when I listened to it, I thought, wow, this is quite cold. Like, why would you disregard that trauma is there? Trauma is there.
Yeah.
And then he even said, look at you wanting to hold on to the trauma like a teddy bear.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, wow, is this guy watching me or what? Right? But it's not that I was holding on to the trauma like a teddy bear, but it's just acknowledging that this thing happened, or these things happen to people. And for some, it takes longer to get over the things, and for some, it's quicker. So I know for me, I've gone through certain stuff in my life, but my attitude towards that same act or action hasn't changed. I'm still very positive about it.
Right.
Because it didn't work the first time, and the fifth, and the fourth, and the whatever time, doesn't mean this time it's not going to work out. But that's my attitude towards that thing. But someone else can come and go through the very same thing that I went through and give up and be like,
yeah.
That's it.
And it's also like there's discussion in the States which they called, okay, so that the black community, the African American community, was saying the nation should acknowledge that drugs is a pandemic, and they're not doing this to themselves. This is the African community, the African American community. And then the Caucasian community did not find that as important. They're like, I know, they're doing it to themselves. So there was a flip that happened, and then there was a new drug that started affecting the Caucasian community.
Oh, snap.
It's so much that the African American community was now okay. They had accepted it, or they somehow had a way of handling it, well, whether it was through community centers, your sport, and all that. So when it was now happening to the Caucasian community, it was, no, this is such a pandemic. Our kids are dying there, and they're like, oh, now it's a pandemic.
Now it's a pandemic.
You know,
the attitude has shifted already.
Shifts based on what you believe is or should be. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the attitude will shift based on what you believe should be or not be. Yes. Or should not be.
Yeah.
There's a message from 300. Answer: the correct definition of attitude is habit of thought. Habit of thought. I'm trying to put it into perspective. So I'm acting out based on what I've been thinking over a long period of time.
I would not say that the definition is wrong, and I would not say it is the correct, because there is a very, very, very correct one if they Google. So if we simplify to say habit, what is a habit? How is a habit formed? Let's break it down.
When you repeat something over and over again, and so you have things like habitual liars.
You repeat. You repeat something so much.
Yes, you repeat it.
You become so good at it. You believe it's you.
Yes.
Which is a belief.
Right. Okay. There
Standard.
Standard done. Okay.
Thought. What is a thought? A thought is a manifestation of an emotion. And then a thought, when it manifests, it becomes a behavior.
So it's an inward feeling that is then expressed
outwardly. And I had a definition of what attitude is. Yes. Is it? It says, attitude refers to an individual's overall evaluation, feelings, or disposition towards a particular object, person, situation, or concept.
Yeah.
But for Red Yoga, you can't go that hard. You want to simplify things. So I tried to really look into it and say, let's water it down.
I get you.
That's when we discovered, no, it's a combination of what you believe, your emotions, and your behavioral tendencies. And these shape how you perceive or respond to certain aspects of life. So
we're basically saying, if I'm not in the right state of mind, I can bring myself out of that mentality or that way of thinking and bring myself into a positive way of thinking and have a really good attitude towards life, and just...
If you're strong, you can do it by yourself.
Even, regardless of what is happening around, I can still single myself out and just put myself in this cocoon and say, Inini, I'm going to have a good day. Inini, I'm going to have good work ethics. Inini, I'm going to be like this. Yeah. And even though, and Nigel, I can choose to say, I am not going to do what Nigel does. I am going to do what Becky does.
That's your value system, yeah? Your value system is what you pass down, which becomes beliefs for your kids, for everyone who follows. So the moment you say, I will not be affected by what someone else says, I will respond in this way. Your values are the governing, your government, your...
Okay, all right. What about sore losers?
Sore losers,
yeah.
Sore runs of losers. It's painful. It's because, look, sore losers, you've created a very strong image in your mind about you succeeding in 1, 2, 3 things or winning in that. So in your mind, there's no possibility of loss at all. So when you lose, no. Why? So losing, that's essentially how it's done. So there's a statement I read online which says that let me check it out. Let me look at it.
All right, we are on Adulting. We're speaking to Pedzi, and the topic is attitude is everything. And I think we've basically broke it down so well that by the time we are done with this, you're going to have an attitude shift. You're going to have an attitude hack and figure out a way to get yourself out of that slump that you had put yourself in, or that someone had tried to force you into a slump. Maybe your morning didn't go so well, you were not spoken to nicely, you ran late, you fought with your partner, you fought with your boss, you didn't hand in that assignment on time, and now everything is is just upside down. You can still change the way the day is going to end by changing your attitude.
The statement was like, your life is a physical manifestation of the conversations happening in your head.
By myself.
Wait. But the second one was a killer. It says, so if you said nothing and thought about everything, your life will show up in the way you thought.
Wait. Yee, Pedzi. If you what?
If you said nothing at all, but you thought about everything, your life will play out exactly according to how you thought, not what you said.
Maybe. Mahora
anoitika.
So ndogona kugaya hora but speak life. So if I don't speak life, mahora.
If you don't speak life, you'll be fine. If you don't think life, there will be no life.
You no, give it to us again. What?
If you the statement itself is, if you said nothing and thought about everything, your life will show up in exactly everything that you thought of.
I think that deserves like a moment of silence. Like, have you thought about the things that you spent the whole day thinking about today? And if you didn't speak anything positive over those negative thoughts that you've had, you're going to live a life based on what you have thought. You're going to experience life based on what you have thought. And it's
because the concept is when you start thinking about kundakapirwa. So the thought is kundakapirwa. It's natural. You can walk in a dark alley. You are, let's say you leave work very late and you know your neighborhood is some sort of way.
Right.
The thought is going to be kundakapirwa. It's okay to have that thought. What you don't want is to stop the process there. What is more ideal now is to go the extra step of the thought process to say, how would I stop Kubirwa? Then you start create the creative solutions of how they will manifest as a solution in real time. But okay, maybe I can call my friend and then if there's no light,
the thought process.
yes. And then you are going to express it through your words. Hello? Hey, Pedzi, what's up? You're done.
A message from 424. And the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Done. Pedzi. Done. But Becky, do you know, there's this something I was reading. I love the Bible. And it's not based on Christian nation.
Yes, it is.
Good. 2 Corinthians 10.
Right.
It says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Right. But they are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. So I broke these things down. Like, okay, we've got these 4 things. You've got strongholds that are seriously reinforced beliefs in your mind. These need to be pulled down. Right. I won't go into the depths of how would you pull it down. That's probably another episode.
Oh yeah, we're ready for that.
People will look into how do I pull down strongholds. There's so many ways to do it.
Right.
Then it speaks about imaginations and unacceptable standards. They are cast away. You cut them off immediately and throw them out.
Right.
This is all in the mind, isn't it? Because the weapons of our warfare, right? The third one, thoughts are caught and are blocked and are locked up. In this is reading 2 Corinthians, it says, thoughts are caught and they are locked up. Then the final one, which is now an expression, and then you revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Cast down my strongholds.
Right.
Your imaginations, you have cast them away, you have shunned them out of your life. And every thought you've managed to really hold it down. I control you, your thoughts. That's only when you are able to now revenge disobedience. Now you create a new cycle.
Come on.
You
Yeah,
see?
because you've managed to subdue everything else that was trying to pull you down. So when you've conquered that part, then you can conquer the other bit.
So now you create obedience. Now what is the obedience? Is now the strongholds, the process of the strong. Because this whole system is an obedience cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pull down strongholds. You have to cast away imaginations. You have to lock up these thoughts, and then you revenge. So now the revenge part is your Becky. You've gone through stuff. That's why we say you can't keep complaining about Jacare. You know, this happened to me, so I'm this and I can't be this. You are instructed to revenge it when your obedience cycle is complete, so that no one else goes through that cycle.
All right, Pedzi, we've got like a minute left here. So this is me. I'm all grown up. I call myself the ultimate adult. At what point in my life do I find time to pull down strongholds and put my mind in check? Like, life is happening. I'm a mother, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a brother. At what point in my life do I find time to say, come together, let's do this?
You can't do it alone. Because when it was happening to you, it was not happening to you alone. There were things or people around you who were making it happen to you.
Okay.
So you need a community, firstly, that has got the kind of mentality that you're looking for.
Right.
And that will inspire you to create new
That
beliefs.
like-mindedness.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also need therapy or counseling. That is a must. I know Africans who don't believe in counseling, but you need to. Yeah. It is actually the fastest way to do it, to overcome all this.
Pedzi, thank you so much for coming through. We're looking forward to next week, Thursday. I have no idea what we're going to talk about on adulting, but I think if we continue like this, we're going to mold a wholesome Capital listener.
Yes.
It is 2 o'clock on Capital 100.4 FM. Stand by for the news.